What's like the highest money you said no to?
30 million.
Jesus, what was it about?
It's just something I didn't want to do.
What about money you've lost? What's the highest you've lost?
I think I've lost like 10M.
What happened?
I think I tried to build a company once. I made like $20 from 10M investment. So. Why did you start build the hard way?
So I started, it's called Money Mistake.
On Instagram.
Yeah, and it went viral. Everybody was just do. So I think they saw a little side of this guy that used to make finance content that were like, waiting in no. Yeah,
I thought about it too. I thought the same thing. When I saw your videos, like, okay, this is different. Yeah, you're not an expert. Like, even if you're an expert, self, at least let us be relatable to you, or relate. Like, let's be able to relate to what you are doing. I had this situation where I was working with a brand, and I had an idea, and I wanted something, but they didn't want the thing that I wanted.
For over 10 years, Fisayo Fosudo has been creating content around technology, storytelling, and culture. Today, he's one of Africa's biggest tech creators, helping millions of people understand the technology they use every day. But what does it really take to build a career that lasts? This is Fisayo Fosudo's Build the Hard Way story. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
We had a conversation earlier about your event, 10 years.
True. Yeah, we are in May of 2016 was when I dropped my first video, the Uber, where I was interviewing an Uber driver.
Yeah, I remember that video.
So 2016 to 2026 is actually 10 years. So in May of 2026 was the 10th anniversary of that video. So the 10th year since I first uploaded a video on YouTube. So later this year would be our 10-year anniversary of consistently creating. So yeah, it will be 10 years as a creator.
How does it feel? Are you
old?
Yet?
I feel old, but I feel so grateful because this is like a dream job. Like I just never imagined that I will be doing this as a career, that I get to use a bunch of cool tech products, travel a lot, and just have fun and get paid to do it. So
True.
Yeah, it's a dream job.
Why tech though? Why did you pick tech?
I loved Wired magazine when I was like a child, when I was like 16, 17. I loved everything about Wired magazine so much. I was a graphic designer and I could draw, and in my head there was this perfect alignment with drawing, design, and technology. And I just wanted these things, but I could not afford it. And I found a path. My friend Okoyemi Akimbo, he's a prolific designer. He sort of gave me materials to learn graphic design, and I basically focused on user interface design. So I'm a very good user interface designer, and I still practice today. I took that, and I was also fortunate to be introduced to books. So my uncle would say, whatever you do, never be idle.
What's his uncle's name? You keep saying uncle.
I don't think I'll say it. But yeah, my uncle would basically tell me that whatever I do, I shouldn't be idle, and I, whatever you do, don't be idle, but always find a way to keep yourself busy. And for me, it was books. He gave me a bunch of books, and I would read those books. And in my head, I was like, why am I reading books? But I'm so grateful for it now, because something I always say, wherever I speak, wherever I go, find a way to read more. Especially now with AI coming, and it's like, we don't know what we're trading for the ability to work our brains. Our brains are meant to do the work. But if we're outsourcing our thinking to some platform that makes us sound right without actually being, having something here, it's a bit...
It's more like instead of thinking, you're proofreading.
Yeah. And something I saw, I read this article yesterday on, I think it's the Wall Street Journal, was Um, don't let AI write for you because it won't even be worth reading when it's not even you that wrote it. So AI can actually brainstorm. It's cool. It can do
Can give you
so many
ideas,
things,
proofread.
but
Yeah.
you should do the work because there's this way. I finished reading this book called How We Learn, and there's this way our brain just does this thing where the work we give the brain would be infinitely rewarding because of the outputs that our brain will give us. So if we are working this thing here to give us some very brilliant results that we probably not even we will probably not even imagine. So um yeah, so it was that the reading, the design, the love for technology, everything just sort of merged into one. And one of the books I read was like you as much as I am having this passion, my creativity is sort of limited to the skill that I have. So I need to build skill so that the thing that is in my head, I'll be able to translate it into real life. So I need to learn design, which I learned, and I was very good at it, and I earned a lot of money from it. And that was what I used to buy all my gear and then start a YouTube channel. But the books were also like, yeah, this thing that you start, it may not succeed in the beginning, which is totally fine. But keep the end in mind so that as you are doing it, you can actually become something. And that was everything I just followed. I just followed those guiding principles and those thoughts. And still today I love reading every day. And I just keep taking my mind just keeps falling back on those principles. And the thing again with books is you will find yourself in a rough spot. But there was somebody that already had that rough spot and you just have an
It
answer.
gives you how to get out of it.
Just get out of that rough spot. So yeah, well taken care of if you read.
So what are people like us that don't like reading but like audio and
It's fine. Like
visual?
audiobooks are amazing too. Videos are amazing too. It's just there's something with books that you just don't get with the
Audiobook or the video?
I mean, no, you get some with audiobooks actually, but with like videos, like a shorter video, you may not necessarily get the full nuance. And books will give you this
Books are more expressive.
broad way. And again, why don't you want to read? Like you have an advantage over other people if you read.
For
Like
example, I can't. If I'm not interested in a book, I can't read past page three.
it's fine. I think you probably find what you're interested in. What are you interested in? What are you interested in? Just you can read. There's almost a book for everything. I was learning this thing about journals. In the US, there's a journal for almost every trade, and they are so vast and it's so beautiful to see. The thing I also am learning. I'm in school now. I'm studying media innovation in Pan Atlantic University, and the thing I'm learning is the importance of documenting everything. Is the reason why some countries are far greater than some countries because they just took the extra time to say, well, we're doing great work, oh, but what if we put all this great work into words and write it down and document it and say, this is the process, this is how we got here, this is the next step, this is what we learned. So they document all their findings, all their failures, you know. I think that I didn't know the importance of that like that. And it's so weird. I'm learning like 10 years into my career, but it's.
I was telling Bello about that earlier about, well, we're talking about the music industry. So I was
Mm,
like, there's no authentic voice that actually documents, that says this is good, this is bad, this is what you're saying,
mm.
or you are lying about this. So I actually understand what you mean by documenting and everything.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely necessary that documentation, and it's so beautiful because that's like the next phase of my life where I'm trying to transition into. That is what I want to focus on, the documentation of things.
So I've noticed you have, like, would I say I've kind of studied what you do, I notice whenever you're quiet, you're doing something. What are you doing right now?
Hey, I can't say yet,
You've been
but
too quiet. I know
it will come
Fisayo too
out in the
well.
it will come out in the light at some point.
If Fisayo is quiet for 3, 6 months,
I
he
have been
has done
quiet.
something he wants to announce. He's
I've been quiet
created
for the
a way to
past
announce it.
few years actually. For the past 2 years, I've been working so hard on something else that it's funny because I don't know if it will work. I don't know if it would succeed. I don't know if it will fail, but God forbid. But like this is I think I genuinely believe in this country and how great we can be as a nation. And I want us to succeed at something that was from us because we're it's very easy to leave Nigeria. Like it's not very easy to leave Nigeria, but
Like it's the
it is
feeling,
it
getting
is
that feeling.
it is like the easiest, not the easiest thing to do. It's just you can abandon this country because you are there's so many right reasons to abandon Nigeria because you see that what do you understand? You can say I went to this conference at the United Nations and they talked about open waste burning because it is one of the it has a direct link to some cancerous diseases and some things. We practice open waste burning everywhere.
Everywhere.
Whether you're on the island or whether you're in every,
Once it's evening, someone is burning
you will
waste
see
somewhere.
waste just piling up. Where there's a place on the island, you just see a street that the road is tarred and everything. In the middle of the street, dump, just like it's everywhere. I've read something about like our waste management and all that. So it is not easy to even overcome that problem. But it's a problem, and this is why people should make businesses to solve these problems, right? But again, the environment is not enabling. How do you want to solve the problem? Will you even make money from the thing if you invest in it? What if you invest in it and it just goes kaput? There's so many challenges. So it is very easy to just ditch this country and just like go for a better life. And yeah. However, like I genuinely believe that when you are in a place that is like here, you can and you know that this is where you can get to. There's all this gap and you can fill that gap with a solution that can change your life. But when you're here, there's only so much you can do, really. There's only like this much increment. It can't really go beyond that. And you are helping so many people in this gap than here. Here, you're probably just getting wealthier or richer, which is fine, which is nice. But there's more to life than money. So, I think I really want to find a way to make some level of impact in a massive way and make a shit ton of money. Sorry for swearing. Make a lot of money from it.
That's allowed. Okay, so over the years, I've noticed let's say pivoted, but I've noticed you try different things. So the core is tech, of course. You tried Financial Friday,
Then the
then
tech podcast, first draft.
then we did
We've tried some. So there was a
you did
collaboration.
the building of
Yes, it was a
houses
collaboration we did with
in the
LG and
schools too and everything.
Fuani. Yeah,
What was that thought process? Like, were you
it
bored of
was
tech, or were you
no.
like, I need to do more?
The funny thing is, it was the MD of Fuani, super amazing person. He's just an amazing person. We were in the office and he just brought this idea, and he thought about it like, why am I not the one doing something like this? Why shouldn't I present this? And I thought about it that this is so stressful. It took us the entire year to make 5 videos.
I remember you called me
We
once for
were
police.
we were not productive that year, but it was so impactful. Like I was crying during the recording. It was that impactful because you can see somebody's life changing in your presence. We built
Those renovations were
yeah,
major.
we built a new house for somebody and it was it was so fulfilling and beautiful. I wish I could do it again, but it is stressful. It's so stressful. But it was one of the most beautiful things that I've ever worked on.
What's one decision you made earlier in your life that people around you are like, nah, but right now it's one of the foundations that actually brought you to where you are now?
Obviously, starting the channel. I think I've talked about this many times where I've like given speeches or been on panels. It was me starting the channel. And again, I'm really grateful for reading those books because I knew that it was not going to work out in the beginning. The first 6 months, I've said it again, I made exactly $0 in the first 6 months. How do you start something and then the first 6 months was nothing that came from it? But I was fine with it. It was fine because I knew again that this is a skill building thing, and it is usually like this in the beginning, and then you get competent and um you become better, you know more, you understand the market or the game better, and now you are able to make decisions that you couldn't have made if you didn't go through that beginning phase because you had to suffer some kind of way for that. Not everybody suffers in the beginning. Some people have a lot of capital to start, but it is always good to know that when you start something, it may not work out, and that mindset was prevalent. So when I started, I think it wasn't the most it was not conventional. I was supposed to work in a bank, and I was close to getting the job. I already had a job, and I was going to work there at the till.
So you left bank to do content. I remember.
No, I actually left banking to do graphic design.
How did that work
So I
out?
worked for a beautiful startup called Max. You see the yellow bikes everywhere in
Oh,
Lagos.
really?
Yeah. I was one of the first employees there. And I did design, I did videos, I did a lot of things because they gave me the room to grow and learn so much in that company. Two founders are MIT grads. And I was able to study some of the resources that they had. And that's actually where I learned visual storytelling. And those skills stuck with me. I was doing social media for them.
Were you part of the team that picked their logo and colors and everything?
We did a couple of designs, but they already had their logos. I think I just added like a tagline or something like that. But I would do presentations. I would design a couple of things for the app, for the website, um, and I would work on the social media. And I love the freedom I had where I was able to manage a company social media and interact with customers and interact on the timeline and make it feel fun. I was studying this brand in storytelling called Innocent Drinks. Innocent is one of the best run social media accounts. It's a UK company. They make smoothies, but they reply every customer like a unique way. In a unique way, they can draw your name on a piece of paper, and reply, take a picture, and send it to you. And that's just like something that is so beautiful to
So like a
see.
unique connection to every
Exactly, and
customer.
you can't forget that as a customer. It is beautiful that a brand, nowadays it's where every brand does this. Every brand replies your Instagram comments, but back then it was something I was studied, and I tried to leverage that knowledge and use it for this brand. And it was that thing where people were like, who is the admin of this company? And I was the admin, so it was that thing, and I learned that, and I was able to apply it to social media and sort of make posts, reply people in that way. Now I'm not really on social media anymore like that.
As a job, so you have to have a life.
So I'm not really on social media that much now, which is funny because this is my job. But it was one of those things where the learnings in the beginning always are always critical to the longevity of your career. And again, I would say it's read more.
The idea of build the hard way is to figure out what you did, how you're doing it, so the average person can actually say, you know how there are always events, there are always speaking events, there are always everybody be like, yeah, I did, but nobody actually tells you, okay,
Yeah.
I did this, I failed, I still did it. The tipping point, this is what I did that actually made a difference. So I feel like someone that has done this for 10 years actually has like the handbook.
Why did you start build the hard way?
So I've always tried to make finance content,
Mm.
but because my part of finance came from experience,
Mm.
it wasn't always easy to tell the story. So I started a series called Money Mistakes.
On Instagram,
Yeah, and it
the
went
ones
viral. Everybody
where,
was just do do
yeah.
do 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 do. Do. So I think they saw a little side of this guy that used to make finance content that were like, waiting in no.
Mm.
They actually saw a side of okay, he made mistakes, that's why he learned.
Mm.
Then I kept making the content and the feedback I was always getting was like people would be in my DM and be like, dude, you have mind, dude. Like you're talking about this is like losing money. Like
Yeah.
nobody does this.
Yeah.
And to
Yeah.
me it's normal. So I was like, if
I thought about it too. I thought the same thing. When I saw your videos, like, okay, this is different. Yeah.
so the way I think is if I make a mistake, I don't make it again. I
Mm.
learn and I
Mm.
can do better.
Mm-hmm.
It's different when I make it and I keep making it. So
Yeah.
I don't see it as a problem. So I was like, why not I make a series of people talking about how they did it and the mistakes they made. So that was the original
Mm.
idea. Then people started running from talking about their mistake.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, since we would not always have builders, we can have creators and the rest.
Mm.
Why not we talk about how they did it?
Mm.
Then if they're open to talking about their mistakes, then we'll do that too. So that's how it
Yeah.
came about.
Fair. I made a tweet some days ago. I mean, like 5 days ago, where I said mistakes are data points,
Yeah.
not a sign
Of
that you
weakness
are
or
unintelligent.
mm,
And this is true. I think I've made so many stupid mistakes in my life, and I made one that led me to like depression and
can you share?
no, we don't share it. Just like you said, they should not use me for content. But I wouldn't say it's a mistake. I think it was just like a thing I did, and I I I I I learned so much about myself in that way. Being depressed is not something that I would, man. I've changed a lot. I would say I've
Made you
changed.
better and everything.
It made me worse first, and then it made me understand myself more. But I would say that mistakes are data points. It's like you have these data points. It doesn't mean that you were dumb or unintelligent. You made a dumb decision, or you made an unintelligent decision. You didn't have all the information at
Yeah,
the
you took
time,
a risk you're not supposed to make.
so you just learn from you have to learn from it, and then the next time you must not make that mistake again because of what it did to you or how you have changed in that way. I would say like I've learned so much about myself in tragedy, and that is something that I would say like really. And to your question, before I asked you the question about why you did build the hardware, to your question, this ties in directly to it. Is in every endeavor that you are starting, it will not be linear. No matter, even if you have all the money in the world. Bill Gates' daughter did Fear, the shopping company. She's been dragged on Forbes for like whatever, they were trying to get revenue from somewhere, and apparently it was not legal. Maybe they didn't know, maybe they knew, I don't know. But there's just all these drags everywhere. So even if you have money, like there's you may, people might even hate you just because you have, you know. However, whatever it is you are doing, just know that at some point there would be there would just be this trough. For me, it was 4 years into content creation that I was going to give up. Genuinely, I was not making that much. I wasn't saving that much. That was the thing that started Finance Friday. Same as you too. Same, like that was the thing that started Finance Friday 4 years into my career. I already had this video written, but I never published it. I was like, this is finance, it's not tech. But okay, in my head, I was like, if so, you have an economics degree, why don't you use this to be the platform for finance in this way?
So I know you have a course where you taught everything you know, like 9 years of you being a content creator. If you want to know where that course is, go to his social media page.
Yeah, it's fisayocourse.com. It's very easy to.
Very easy. Anyways, can you give us a playbook?
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you some questions. I know the most of what they need to know is in that course. I'm just going to ask you some questions. So the average person is thinking, okay, yeah, I would like to do content, especially in this period where nothing is working for me. I have one small talent. So the first question I'm thinking is the average person that is thinking, okay, I want to make content. And they have no idea about what niche, what kind of content to do, what books to look at, or basically what to do. What questions should they ask themselves first before they think about views, how to make money, or followers?
What can I talk about without getting bored of talking about it? Or what can I do without getting bored? Because boredom is really, really the worst version of is worse than feeling. I think boredom is this place where you are not it's not that you are not trying, but you just don't want to try anymore. It's not interesting. Failing is like, okay, we were trying our best to do something maybe, and then it didn't work. But boredom is like you are just not interested. So you don't want to get bored of this thing. So it has to be something that you like. But something I also get a lot is, what if I don't have any passion? What if I actually don't like anything and I just want to make videos? But think about it too. This content creation is a value exchange. You are it's a value exchange on multiple levels. I am making content that is valuable to somebody. And value is this educational? Is this entertaining? Is this inspiring? Does it do something for me? Does it make me feel something? That is the value. And if you see this value in movies as well, movies are inherently entertaining. We will pay 12,000 naira, 8,000 naira to go to cinema and get this experience. The experience I get from the cinema is entertaining for me and maybe inspiring in some ways, and I'm happy with how much I paid. So this is the same thing with content, except that we get it for free, right? So I watch this piece of content. The value to your audience is it is valuable for me. I got educated. I learned something from this video, or I was entertained by this video. In a way, you want to know which value where you sit in the value exchange of content creation. So you are making content that is valuable to an audience. You are making it in the hopes that some people want to get famous, some people want to get paid. The value that comes back to you is money. So that is the exchange of value. You give your audience content on YouTube. You give your audience content. You get exchange in AdSense money. Sometimes exchange is in brand money, but the value exchange to the brand is I give you access to an audience. So I expose your content to X number of people. They watch. They see what you do. Hopefully they buy, or with tracking links or something, you can actually measure how many people bought it because they watched your video. Obviously, not everybody's going to buy it immediately. They watch your video. It probably takes some time. They watch your video. They watch a couple of other videos. That's why there are campaigns. They work with multiple creators so that it becomes a thing. And everybody's like, oh, this new product is in the market. One day I'm going to buy this product. But that's the value exchange for the brands. The brands are paying to get visibility from your platform as a creator, right? That is the value exchange ecosystem. Obviously, there are other things like affiliate programs and so many other things. So you want to find out where you sit in the value exchange after you've figured out the thing that you want to do that you're not going to be bored of doing. And then you want to now ask yourself, what am I making people feel from this thing? This also ties into the boredom thing, also ties into the value exchange thing, but the feeling is far deeper. you want to think about it in, obviously you call this like a personal brand. When I show up, what do I want people to think of my content? This is the perspective angle. I think perspective will be number 4, but this is the perspective angle too. I want people to feel like they are smarter. Not necessarily that they are only feeling like they're smarter, they are actually smarter because they came to a Fisayo Fosudo video, for instance. So this would mean, for me to, the way I say this is starting, working backwards. So this is the thing I want to achieve with my video or with my body of work. I will pick that thing and I will focus only on that thing and I will walk backwards. Everything I'm writing in my video, every part of the video, is it fulfilling that goal that I want to achieve? And this is what you ask yourself for every single thing you are making. So that way you have a body of work that is fulfilling the one thing. So I have a feeling I want to evoke from my videos. And I want people to feel like they watched the clearest, most educative, most complete video. So they're able to get all the gist. So the videos will be a bit longer, but they will get everything. We did a video about this Oraimo boards. It was 20, it was 25 minutes, I think. And people were like surprised that it's a 25-minute review on a boards. Like it's a $30 board. However, my goal was beyond the manual. I will break down every single thing that is in the manual. I'll break down every single thing that I found out. And I'll go beyond and find out every single minute feature. And I'll talk about everything in that video. So this way, this is the only video you need to watch. Not only video you need to watch. Obviously, you can watch other videos.
Like when you watch it, you actually
But when you watch
everything.
it, you get everything you need. And the video was still not even complete. There were still things I missed. So this is how you want to think about it. Like, obviously, it cannot work for everybody. Not everybody wants the details. Some people want quick
You want sharp,
and
sharp.
move on. So figure out where you sit in that. And this is the set of feelings that you are evoking. And this works directly to the algorithm. YouTube will tell you that the algorithm is the audience. That the audience is the algorithm because the algorithm is a bunch of interests gathered in one place. So if person A is interested in something, they will watch the thing. They may not subscribe to your channel. They may just watch a video, but they will watch similar videos to that. Some people, I've met people that just like watching agricultural videos. And the algorithm knows that this person,
To always feed it to them.
so they will get new channels, new concepts, new this thing about agriculture, new adjacents as well. And what this means for you as a creator is, now that you know that the algorithm is a bunch of interests, I'm going to create something that I am interested in that feeds into that interest, that pool, that interest pool, and I talk to those people. And this way, your video sits in the algorithm, and now people are interested in watching that thing. They may not follow you. You know this, like most people have more views than subscribers
Subscriber.
or more views than followers. So people are watching, but they're not following you. Like we've had videos with millions of views, but obviously we don't have millions in that way of followers. So people are just watching for the interest that they have in the thing. Some
You want to
people
just get something and move
they
on.
move on. Some people they even think they follow you, but they don't. But they know you. I'm sure it has happened to like people
A
who see
lot.
you. They're like, oh wow, I follow you, but
I
you
probably
check.
you're like that check. You're like,
They
oh,
don't
it's my
follow you.
other account.
Or it's another account, or they just watch you so much because the algorithm recommends it to them because that's what they are interested in. So this is what you want to think about as a creator, how you can work that way. But the best way, Mr. Beast said this, Mr. Who's the Boss said this, work backwards from the point, the thing you want to get is an arbitrary thing, is feeling. But work backwards from that feeling to the video. It's not like you want to start the video and then put it out and then hope for something. You want to already have the thing you want from the video. What do I want this video to do? And then, I work backwards. So that's the question that I always ask whenever I make any video. What is this video actually doing?
So let's say someone has 500 followers
Mm-hmm.
and they're still trying to figure it out. What do you think they should do for the next 12 months?
For the next 12 months, you want to put out something every week. At least, barest minimum, every week. Maybe 2 videos a week. if you have the ability to do two
Two
videos a week.
videos a week, is that not small?
It's small, yes, but this is the thing. You can do daily and you will get the followers. I've done daily and we got like 10,000 followers in a month. It works.
But you burn
But
out.
do you really, really, really want to do that? Unless you want to achieve something for the next 30 days, which I love what Salem does with that his like challenge where you post every day for I think 30 days or something. That is a very good way to show yourself to the world. So if that is the strategy you want to employ, you will actually it could actually work where you might get a lot of followers from it, or you may not. But what you will definitely do is you build some kind of resilience, and you will understand
You get
yourself.
better at
You will get better.
writing,
You would actually
creating
understand
ideas.
this world if you are doing it the right way. If you are making something and you are learning from it. The other thing I would say is the comment section is a gold mine. Look at what people are saying. You can actually find your next video there, or you might just know what to avoid. Like actually listen. Like when I started, oh my god, our lighting was so bad. Our the voice, I was forming accents, so stupid. Like so many things. It was just so. We're just doing the wrong things. But I paid attention to what the comments were saying, and I started to tweak things a little bit, and that's kind of how we got to this point. And I'm always listening. I'm always reading the comments. I'm always seeing what do people actually want, or what do they say they want, and if I test it, will they like it or not? So there's a lot of gold in the comment section, and it can also be misleading too. But there's a lot of gold there. So think about it in that way. So I'll take twice a week, but if you want to do a sprint, you can go for like a 30-day challenge. Join Salem's 30-day challenge and try and see your own resilience. Some people stop after 2 days, some will stop after 3 days. But if you go all the way, you will learn something.
Okay, what of someone that has been making content, has like over 100K followers, but doesn't know his personal brand, but wants to build a brand? What should they do?
How did you get the 100K followers?
Well, there are a lot of people that have gone viral and have been posting back to back, back to back, back to
But
back. So now it's more like, what's my personality? What value am I giving? Who do I want to be? What do I want to be known for?
mm, I think it grows over time. I would say this though. I did take a course on personal branding, and I'm sorry, I'm a bit of a nerd in this way. I always learn everything that I want to go into. So I'm learning how to run a media business, and how a media business can actually become something because I know that there's some people that have done this work ahead of me. Not everything you're going to do is unique in that way. Obviously you want it to be unique in some ways. You want it to have a new style or a new path. But this is where the thing I talk about perspective comes in. People are following you because of your perspective. They are following you because of the way you do your own thing. Everybody's, we're in the same niche. We do tech, so everybody's doing it in a bit of a different way. Valo put his phone in the water,
And sponge it.
and that is what we do. Valo the destroyer, that is what we love about Valo. Izzy is very clean and very like methodical with that, and me, I would probably say I like to go into detail a lot, or I would try to break down something that is very complex in a simple way so that people can understand. People that don't know anything, they can understand it. I've had old people stop me in the mall and be like, this thing you explained about some finance video that I did, like I understood it so well because of the way you broke it down, because of the way, and this is a deliberate thing. Again, you remember the thing I talked about? The feeling I want to achieve in the end is I want you to feel like you were educated and you got it in a very simple way, even though it was very complex. All our finance videos, we have this recurring comment where it's like, I wish this is how they taught me in school. And I love that so much because this is exactly what I was trying to achieve with the video, and I did it. So your personal brand is in that thing. What do you want people to think about you? when they think about you? What is it that you want people to? Hmm. I think this person is the best person to follow if you want X. So reverse engineer that and think about it for yourself. I want people to know me as the person that simplifies things. I want people to know me as the person that is maybe the highest quality or maybe the most fun person. How do you now work towards it? There are methods, there are systems to do all the things you want to get to. It's now you that will now combine all these things. In the book Mastery, it is two ways to become a master: creative combination or deep learning. Deep learning is I studied something so deeply and I figure out the path that nobody else is doing. And I'm the one that will major on that thing because nobody else is doing that thing. You may not get any reward or any returns or on your investment or whatever in the beginning. But because you've gone so far in that thing, nobody else can come close to you because nobody else was thinking in that direction. But you were the one that said you think in that direction. The second way is creative combination. So you learn something, you learn another thing, but nobody has really combined those two things in the way you will combine those two things. And then you combine those two things. I think the example I always give is earlier it was graphic design, me being a user interface designer, me learning typography, me learning all these things, and then combining it with my videos. So that way the videos have a structure because of UI elements that I learned. And what is a video if it is not an interface to talk about something? And this is something that I kept trying to imbibe in the videos. For many people, it can be the fact that some people can learn aviation, some people can learn hospitality. There's so many things you can learn, but you can now combine it with a new field in a way that nobody else has thought about or
So, so
people have
you're
thought
unique at
about.
the end.
Exactly. So it now looks like you are unique, but it is creative combination. I think it's called creative combination. You combining even multiple things, maybe two, three, four, five things into one thing. And that is what they call remix. Remixing something. You've probably heard the saying everything is a remix. So that is really, really one way to figure out who you like maybe your personal brand or how you want to be known and your path, your career path.
Do you feel like there's a disconnect between the way Nigerians see themselves and the way we really are? Let me give you an example. For example, the average Nigerian think we are educated people, but the stats says otherwise. At the
Mm.
same time, we think we are not poor people, but the stats says otherwise. What do you think?
Obviously, it's true now. Like it's true. I don't know about what the average Nigerian thinks because there's no study. I have not seen any study that says that they sampled a large number of Nigerians and this is what they think. If there was a study, maybe I would probably say, okay, this is the study. So I would look for a study, maybe conduct one. But if there's a study that shows that, then for sure. But obviously, in conversations that you have with people or what you see online, on Twitter, for instance,
I
with
wanted to say
so
Twitter.
many assumptions, and that people tweet and then they get a lot of retweets. So people think it is a fact,
I think it's
maybe,
a fact. Like,
but it is not a fact and it is not true. We're just getting a lot of retweets because that's what people like to hear, or they just they want it to be true so badly. Like I said earlier, that it is very easy to hate this country. But in all of this, in all of these things that we are seeing, there will still be resilience and success and stories that change in all of these things, in all of these murky waters that we have. I feel like in terms of like perception or in terms of how we see ourselves, I think maybe something that we don't have is the pride. We are proud, but there's no
there's
pride
no pride, like
in
country pride or
in the
self.
yeah, because again this country has given you so many reasons to, and it is further in like there's more fuel added to the fire of media of what we say about ourselves. And it is the opinion that gets the loudest cheers and applause and retweets, this Olodo uprising thing and all of these things. All of these things that we are adding to it, it just makes us seem like we're not even serious, you know? Like, what are we actually doing, really? And this is why I'm a huge advocate of people to just read something, because you don't know the power of knowledge. Like, it's a knowledge is power, but it is true. You Entire societies have transformed because of education,
True.
and this is what we need. We need that focus on education. It is not a scam. It is the thing that it changes lives for real, and that is what I think we need to. Every Nigerian needs to be thinking about, how can we improve in education. I've attended like so many events over the years, and I've seen so much research that shows that malnutrition rates, especially in Africa, is too high. So there's this thing about there's high malnutrition that is leading to, obviously we know that we procreate so much, we have so many children. So, and there's a large number of those people that are uneducated, and new people come into the world malnourished. There are studies that show that the malnourishment is not allowing the brain to develop. Those people are going to grow and procreate and make new people that
This
are
cycle continues.
further malnourished, no development of brain, no education, no food, none of these things, none of the. So, in the end, it's like a sad, vicious cycle that is just happening to us. Maybe I think that what we need is just, it's cliche probably to say, but we just need that focus on education. Teach us to be curious. Teach people to just be more curious, because that the curiosity changes so much. Some people are just okay because that's all they know. This is all they know. They only know this. We are exposed. We have traveled. We have gone to all these places, and we've seen how much better other places are. Again, it is very, very easy to give up on this nation and be like, there are places that are much better than this place. Why don't I just go and live out the rest of my days there? But I genuinely think that we can talk about this thing endlessly, but we should do something. We should actually try and do something about it. And I pray that I make a lot of money, because I want to establish schools and policy in some way that will change something. Because it's easy for me to, it's easy for us to talk about this thing.
So more like creating
Mm.
the change instead of just talking
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. So that is one of the reasons why I'm working very hard to, because I really want change for us as a nation too, because we deserve to be proud of ourselves. But if you check, if you find somebody that said, if somebody tells you that you're proud of Nigeria, they probably pay the person. It
But
feels,
do you
it
feel
feels like
like
that.
do you feel like the country and the economy itself limits you from everything you're saying?
Your environment for sure limits you. The environment that you are in will limit you because of the understanding and the exposure of the ecosystem. Again, if you go to Silicon Valley, you can raise $1 billion and build something that you want to do. If you want to build something here, you go do like
You
this,
nearly go mad.
you know, and the access to funds are probably like maybe loans, maybe no equity. Like, it's just harder here, and many people might not understand what you're trying to achieve, because the
So the
markets.
solutions are even different. Do you feel like in Nigeria and Africa, creators rely more on brand deals?
I think it will have to be that way because of some fundamental things that are just not working in our favor. So, um, AdSense, for instance, you you can get so many views, but it may not necessarily translate to
compared
enough
to what's
value.
spent.
Like I said, like the first 4 years of my career was, yeah, it was not so great. I'll probably, let me just say, I was earning like $90, but
Wow.
what do you want to do with $90 a month? What is that? What does $90 a month mean? And it wasn't until I explored a new niche that became viral fast. The people were not viral. It became more engaging fast. It was still educative. It was still detailed videos, but people were just engaging with it more because now people were really, really interested in his money talk. It is, economics talk. So people are like, okay, this concerns me, so I will engage. So that was the thing that sort of, because of that factor and because it was finance, obviously the kind of ads that will show up on a finance video would be
Ad betters.
different to have better AdSense and things like that. So that was why that worked. So in a way, again, I was really lucky too. However, um, it's not something you can totally rely on because it is not stable. Something like working with a brand, you know, working with a company, for instance, like a fintech, where you can have like a year's plan or something like that, that can actually now be beneficial because now okay, for the next few months you don't have to work, where you can actually work on their apps, on their stuff and just talk about it or infuse it in your videos or something like that. So that is a more sustainable way to earn money, especially in this part of the world. Unless you're making maybe Nollywood movies or unless you are just viral, it will be very difficult to earn money from just the content. There's also Facebook too, which pays. So unless
Facebook,
you are getting those
Facebook has
views,
gone to shit.
it will be difficult. So, and again, we now have, we have quite a lot of creators. We're all sort of fighting for the same pool of viewers, and you see these things about like maybe content people are not really watching the content. People are still watching content. It's just people are choosing what to watch, and
Because the noise is a lot.
they want to watch something that it just makes them feel something. Like people just want to feel something and move on. And while like this, on Instagram, I just scrolling. It's only maybe YouTube that people can be patient and watch something for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I really, really like the tempo of YouTube because I like spending time to make something. And I like when the audience appreciates the time that I spend. So I really like that that tempo. And I think that if you want to do, I think that there's longevity with YouTube. So it's the one that pioneered paying you for your views,
From day one.
for the views. So I would say that that is where you should be thinking, thinking about. But the other platforms are short form platforms or digestible content platforms. You will get more reach on TikTok, on Instagram, maybe even X. You will get more reach than YouTube in many cases. But know what you are doing on those platforms. If you want to get reach, you want to get followers, try the short form platforms. If you want to get maybe a little bit more long lasting audiences that will watch,
That will stick
that will
around.
stick around, I think YouTube is the way it is.
As a creator, how would you make sure that the brands that are sponsoring you don't control your career?
This one is a very difficult question.
Because in Nigeria, it's very hard.
Yeah, like I, I I had this situation where I was working with a brand and I I had an idea and I wanted something, but they didn't want the thing that I wanted. And I told them that I cannot do this thing that you're asking me to do because it will not work with the audience. And I think what we need to do is let them see the reason why or show them, don't just tell them. People like illustrations. People would, this is a visual medium. people want to see, people want to actually see the reason why. So if you can do like a, I know it's quirky and weird, but if you can do like a presentation to tell them that,
It's a
see, oh,
quick, yeah,
I'm
right.
serious. If you can do like a presentation, tell them, see, we tried this before. Obviously, not everybody is going to have this experience. Like if you are just starting out, you may not know. So you are just testing the waters. And that's why you should watch podcasts like this. You know, watch creators that have done it. So you can actually get the idea. You can present something and see this will not work because the audience doesn't like this type of things. This is what the audience likes. This is what you reached out to me for. This is what my audience likes me doing. So why don't you let me do what I know how to do? And I will infuse you in this way because I know that the audience will resonate with it in this way. Rather than, I think one example I give is a fun example, which is Bolt. Bolt reached out to me. I give this example in school. I asked their permission to use this example in class. So I taught the class in Pan Atlantic University before I started studying there. And something that I talked about was they had this list of things that they wanted to do. And in my head, I was like, okay, it's very easy for me to just recite these are the safety features of Bolt. What if I became a Bolt driver? What if I actually put my car on Bolt and do the driving and earn some money? And that's what I did. I enlisted my car. I did the normal, I registered through Bolt, the normal way anybody who would register through Bolt. I became a Bolt driver. And it was fun. It was more fun than just, hey guys, these are the safety features of Bolt. Bolt lets you have access to this, lets you have access to that, do this, do that. I don't know that people will watch that video. People will say, oh, this is a sponsor video. Go away, go away, go away. But a video where I enlisted my car on Bolt and I became a Bolt driver for 24 hours, I think I made like 40K or something that day. Or 50K, yeah. And I posted it online. And people were like, what? And people like, Bolt drivers were not DMing me, like, bro, this is true, this is real, thank you so much. I was like, okay. The post got 1 million views.
Wow.
So that was good. Like, that was actually good because the brand lets you explore it the way you want to explore it. So that is, we need more of that. You pick the creator for a reason. You should actually let the creator
Express themselves.
express themselves because there's the reason why they were creating. There's the reason why they are creating it that way. You should let them do it the way that they understand. Obviously, maybe a hit or miss. You know, sometimes it might be the agency. Sometimes it might be a couple of things. But you should. It is a creative medium, and you want your message to actually stick to people.
So what if the client is very, very
Adamant.
adamant? Because me, for example, now me, I've gotten to that point where
Can return their money.
I will return it. I don't lie to you. Like if
Just
I'm not, if you're stressing me, like, because there were times when I struggled, like, and if you see the videos, you will know. Like you already have an idea, and you send the script, and they come back and they're like, no, 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 no. Someone that has not written script in their life will be telling you this is direction.
Yeah.
They probably did a prompt on ChatGPT, and ChatGPT told them this.
I don't.
And so at that time, what it did to me was, if I progressed to this level of artistry in content I'm making, that little backslide I did just to make the client happy would now, okay, I'll make the video comes out, it won't connect, it won't make
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Now you've messed up my whole, so I have to go back to the drawing board again. So I just got to a point I'm like, if I tell you don't like it, it's not for me.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, you're difficult, but you don't get it, it's not for me. Simple.
I don't like when I like that saying like, oh yeah, a difficult person to work with. When we are trying to achieve the same goals of, again, I mentioned that this is a value exchange. I want to win too. I want the video to get views too. And I want people to see you in the video because again, another thing for me, I would not work with a brand that I wouldn't use personally. So any brand I work with, I would use their product. So every review I've made, we would use the product. We'll try and use it, for maybe a few days, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. We'll just try our best to make sure that it is something that we can live with and then talk about it. So obviously, if I'm going to work with you, I'm going to be interested in you in the first place. If I'm not interested, I'm not working with you. We've had dozens of brands that have reached out. I'm just not going to work with them. Even some big brands, I cannot work with them because some I don't use your product. Sorry. So, but so obviously not in all cases. Some cases where there are products that you've always wanted to use, or is a new thing that you would love to try, so you can then use. So that is a different case. But for the most part, like, you know, I would want to enjoy the process, and I want your I want people to watch the video. I want people to enjoy your brand. I want people to actually see it and love it. So I think maybe it's for agencies especially. They need to think about it in that way, that this person already has a way to talk to their audience. Why don't we just let them do what they've been doing? But this is something you can change. I read this book too about I read this book about this particular phenomenon, which is people will get famous and people will want to work with them because they got famous. But the work that they want to do with them will even alter the reason they became famous in the first place. It's not even close to their value system or anything. They just say, "Oh, this is a face that people know, so
Let's jump on him.
let's just jump on it," and it's something completely
I've not.
disconnecting.
I don't call names, but I've seen a lot of creators that they got to the peak, and because of management that did not actually understand, or management that were focused on money, and you see brands dragging them right, left, things they don't connect with, things that the stories they tell they're not telling anymore. So you're not even tapping, like using your product to tap into those stories. You are creating your own narrative, and you just see the disconnect, or you see the, it's crazy. So 10 years doing amazing content. What do you think kept you going, made you one of the best in your field? Do you think it's try new things or consistency?
I think it's all the things you mentioned: the trying new things, the consistency.
I feel like it's try new things.
I would say yes to that too, in addition to the consistency.
Because there are people that are consistently putting out the same thing. They're not evolving. They're just, you buy biscuits today, I'll sell biscuits to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Continuously like that.
Something that we always have a debate about in the office too is this thing that we're doing, do we even like it? We as consumers, do we like it? If we don't like it enough, why are we putting it out? There are some times where you may just do something that you just have to put something out. So you may not like it, but there are some times where you have the opportunity to truly innovate in some way. Why don't you try that? Why don't you try that path? And I really love it because it is hard to create something new or something you haven't seen before. Maybe you've seen it somewhere, you want to remix it. It is a bit difficult because you haven't done it before. But that's where the fun is with the creating thing, because now you get to learn new techniques, you get to learn new things, and you get to be proud of something new that you've made. And if the audience now connects with it, double win. Because
Beautiful.
now it's like, oh wow, you gave us this new thing, this new idea, this, it's easily shareable. People can share it to somebody. Have you seen this? That is very, very beautiful. For us, we're actually very lucky too with our niche because tech is new every day. So there's always a new phone, a new product. So there's a new angle to it. The onus is on the company to actually make the new phone as interesting as possible. It's just on us to deliver the new phone. Like, okay, this is a new phone, like the Fold, like this new Fold is a unique product.
A new shape.
So
At
now
least.
a new shape, and now people are like, okay, I want to see this person's perspective on this new shape. So I really like that. We've shot like 3 videos on this Fold. We haven't released anyone yet, but I'm happy with the videos that we've done. Maybe 2 of the 3 that we've done. I'm very, very happy. The other one is just like one normal video that we do, and then we like try to work on something new. So I'm really happy with that idea, and I think it is that joy of the creating. If you still have that joy, like I said earlier, you want to do it and not be bored of doing it. So if you still have that joy, I think it is something that can, have that longevity as well. And you want to get paid. You want to also get paid. You want to make sure that you are making money from this endeavor. So I would say that that's one thing that has sort of kept me going. Is I was able to buy my house and buy a car and, you know, do some things here and there with content creation.
Speaking about brands, what's like the highest money you said no to?
30 million.
Jesus, what was it about?
I can't say it. It was a lot. It
Can
was
you give
for,
us the field at least?
I can't say the truth. I can't say
Okay,
it.
what can you not tell us?
It's just something I didn't want to do. So
Did you need the money at that point? Like, was
obviously,
it?
yes. Nah, 30 million. I have gotten a new car maybe, or I would have gotten my parents a car or something. But yeah, yeah.
Looking back now, was it a good decision or
I
was it?
don't know actually. I think about it sometimes. I think about it sometimes. Like I could have actually done something with it, you know.
What about money you've lost? What's the highest you lost?
Ah, bruh. I think I've lost like 10 more stuff in a,
What?
in a couple of phases even.
What happened?
I think I tried to build a company once. I made like $20 from 10M investment. So yeah.
What was the takeaway? What did you learn?
I know I learned a lot, but I mean we're trying to build another thing again. So we've made some money, but obviously not compared to how much we've spent. We've spent tens of thousands of dollars. But this is all for the good cause. I believe so much in this country and what we can achieve. When I always think about what we can do, instead of just complaining, what can we actually build? So that is that is where my head is at. And I'm going in with the mindset of I'm here to learn. Everything is like a learning experience for me. So yeah,
What's what's one thing success had to make you online?
you can have everything and then still not be
Be happy.
happy. But one thing I learned was that this was like a therapy thing, and also over time was happiness is from within, and if you want to be happy, you should actually act in the ways that you should do certain things that generate the feeling of happiness. So giving back, um, smiling more, helping people, or whatever it is that makes you happy, to be honest. But as far as it is safe and legal, you know.
Just say legal.
So just do the things that would make you happy um, consistently. But obviously, just know that life is meant to sort of have its own ups and downs. And I think something else I learned is that in the moment of chaos or problems, you want to be thinking about how to solve the problem versus who to blame for the problem. Or not necessarily who to blame, it's
More about thinking of solution than
yeah,
pondering
like
on the
the
problem.
solution is the thing that you need to be focused on. Because if you think about the problem, it can lead to things like depression, obviously. It can lead to things that you probably do not want, and then you're going to regret later on. Like there's this saying, like if you speak when you're angry, you make the best statements you ever regret. You don't want to act on impulse or on anger or on sadness or whatever. You actually want to just think of try your best to think clearly. It's easy to say, but in the moment it's hard to do. But if you can just take this thing, try to think, like lay out all the things on the all the cards on the table, so the proverbial cards on the table, and think about what can be solved from this entire process. What can actually be the thing that changes this conversation or this situation from this is not ideal to we are getting to the process of being ideal. So I think that's the thing that I would say I learned past few years.
Do you feel like, or do you think it's easier, or it was easier for someone like you that started 10 years ago than it is today, starting
Yes,
content creation?
absolutely. It was much easier for us because we're not many, and we're not like we were innovating in many ways that were now those ways are normal, but back then they were innovative. So now you have to innovate more. Sometimes you may have to spend a lot more. You have to get fancy equipment sometimes. It's not all the time. You don't need fancy equipment for content. You can use your phone, you can do whatever. But now it's a different ball game. Now there's more emphasis on the perspective, the personality, the person, you know, than the content or than the style or the. So you've seen somebody was telling me about somebody that about a channel, about a page, very high quality production, high quality camera, only 5,000 followers maybe, and the person has posted like 200 videos. So there are those things now. Back then, if we saw something like that, it would be like, wow, this is cool, this is mind blowing. So you had more opportunities to grow a lot then. But that's not to say that you can't grow now. Like now, it's just like it's a different ball game. Now you actually now have to express your personality more. You have to tell a story. You have to connect with the audience. You have to be thinking about all these things more deliberately because this is a genuine career path for people. Back then, like I said, I did not know whether I would work out, but I really, really just
Really
wanted to
wanted
do
to do.
this. And I spent the time and the effort and energy to go through with it. So
Okay, what's one thing that if you do right now, you'd be like, you know what, that's it, I'm fulfilled.
if I complete my current journey of making like I need to make $2 million. I need to make $2 million, and I would be like, okay, yes, this is the first phase of the next phase. So yeah,
So that would give you like, you know what, I'm on
no,
the
no, it's
right
just the
track.
first phase. Yes, I'm on the right
You're on
track.
the right
So
track.
it's the first phase, and then on and on and on like that.
Look, what is it like? What is the amount that, for example, like just be like, we've gotten this amount, you know what? Let's just work out the phase and is
I
it for
feel
me?
like if I get 20 million, I'll probably take a break for a year, for 1 year.
You said a year out.
Yeah,
I
and
was
I'll
going
come
to hear
back.
like 5 years.
No, wait, what am I doing for 5 years? I'll take a 1 year break. I'll actually go and study. I already have a plan. I have a plan for what I'm going to do when I get there. So I already have like a plan for
So you
those
still want to
things.
tell us what you're building?
You will find out eventually. Like
When? Give us dates, time,
I don't know yet.
month.
I don't know yet. But we've actually raised money. We've done some very cool stuff. My vision is again, it's just for prosperity of so many more people, and I just really really want to leave a mark, a massive positive mark on one significant part of the world, or maybe the world in its entirety. So
What's one thing you bought that you regret?
uh any
I can tell you what
regrets?
I bought and I regret too. My Benz.
Depends. I remember.
Everybody
I
knows that
remember you
story.
talking about that on IG. I bought like a cinema camera, the FX6. We ended up selling it, but it served us like it did. It's what we used to produce the Changing Lives project, where we're giving, um, we're renovating people's homes and things like that. So that was very useful. It earned its money back, and we're able to sell it for almost close to the amount. So I don't think I have any regrets in you know I mean, I also bought a robot, so that is a very interesting purchase that I made. We haven't really, I don't know if we've earned it back. I don't know, but we're trying to use it in production. It's just that it's a bit more difficult to use. So, and with the way productions are, like we have to be fast. Is it really necessary? But it's cool. It's a cool. We're tech bros, so this is a cool thing to do, and I like to learn more. I like the bleeding edge of technology. So
Which would you do? Copying what works or studying what works?
I think they are two different things because studying, you're not doing anything. Like you're not actively doing anything. You are learning, you're assimilating. But copying what works, I would say you should do it with creative combination that we talked about. So can you combine it with something else that makes it sort of your own?
That gives it a unique feel, not
Yes.
just jacking it.
Don't just obviously copying is just stupid. Why would you do that? Like why would you just take something and then replicate it in the same way? If you don't get called out for it, and if you get called out for it, it will now become a problem that you have to deal with when you could have just been creative with it. Like there's a reason why there's remix. There's a remix
You
for
really
things.
hit on this remix.
Yeah, you see someone like Burna Boy. Burna Boy is very huge, and if you see some of his big tracks, they were
Samples or
samples
remix, yeah.
of all these other things. It's not like he just took the song and made it his own, but he took some styles there, he took some things there, and with creative combination, added his own spin on it, and it became huge. So we see this a lot. We see this in so many places.
How long do you think a creator should stay on an idea before saying, you know what, this is not working? Let me try something else.
It depends on the stage of the production, and it depends on what the production is or what the creation is. So if it is in pre-production, for instance, if it's already getting way too expensive and you cannot possibly find funds to continue, then obviously stop. If it is during production, if you find out that you've done rubbish in the pre-production, if you've shot rubbish, obviously you don't have to continue unless you can shoot more things. And if it is in post-production and you've published it and the feedback is very, very awful, maybe you should take it down. But I think I've experienced it in all of the phases, to be honest. I've experienced it in where we shot something, we just never edited it because we spent the whole day shooting something. It was just, we had this idea, we tried to work with the company worked with us, then they ghosted us. No, they ghosted us. They didn't see anything for months. So we just had the product and we just said we'll just do the video anyhow. And we did the video and we did not even like the video. So we just ended up not doing it. So that was so much effort wasted, money wasted, this wasted, that wasted. But it was a learning process. And we're actually going to do a video like it again. But with the new learnings that we've gotten. So it was in during production we've had cases where we got everything perfectly well. Especially an example like the leaderboard, for instance, that we had so many good episodes. Some files were missing. We deleted files in here and there. God, that one is just awful. Having a good interview and then just the files are lost. And then obviously we've put something out where it was just not. I remember making a video where we made a mistake in the specs because the company had two different specs in different regions of the world. I think one in India, one in the rest of the world. And we used the Indian one, even though they had the same name. And people were buying it because they thought
You thought it was a
it was
certain
a
spec.
higher spec. And they got a different spec to what I reviewed even. And it was just so confusing. But we didn't do our research well. I would say we didn't do our research well. Even though we tried to research it. I reviewed the product I had in my hand. I talked about what I had in my hand. Then convoluted it with specs of a different product with the same name. So it just it just didn't work well. People really hated us for that video because they bought the products that we talked about, and it turns out that it wasn't the same product. So yeah, those are the phases. I think obviously you have more control in pre-production and during production, but once it's out there, it's more reputational than anything. So
What's one mistake you see creators making right now? Like people that are starting or people that are just starting to have their voice.
I think it is sounding like an expert when you don't know much about the space. If we even check the experts, they sound like we're learning this thing together. I love watching science creators, Veritasium, um, Cleo, Abraham. These people sound like they're we are learning this thing
Like, let's do
together.
the experiment together.
Yes, we're in this together. That is what it is. It is not you're not an expert. Like even if you're an expert self, at least let us be relatable to you or relate like let's be able to relate to what you are doing. You want it to be more close or but again, to each their own, I guess. Some people that works for them, the expert thing. But I feel like as new creators, somebody who you don't know much, coming off as an expert is a bit too risky because if you get something wrong, you are the expert that. Which does not say that it is a bad thing to get something wrong. At some point we're inevitably going to get something wrong, but you just want to think about it in the way of not humility. You just want to be approachable in this space. At least in the beginning, you are learning. This is a tabula rasa. You are coming into the space, bringing these new ideas, and trying to learn as much as possible before you can claim expertise. And even if you can, you don't really, you don't have to. You can still be relatable and cool.
5 to 10 years from now, what do you want to be remembered for? Because you've done 10 years, 10 amazing years.
I want what I'm working on to be very successful and impactful. That we just can't live without it.
Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Had an amazing time. I've been uplifted, educated. The list is endless.
Okay, make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys comment your thoughts. I'll actually be replying comments as well. So just ask any question. Anything that I didn't answer in this video. Obviously not you know the question not to ask. But just ask questions in the comments. I'll be there chatting. So thank you so much for having me.
Bye, guys.